What's up, everyone? This segment of Tell Me About It, Tara, is brought to you by the Holy Happy Hour. I'm Tara, and today we are going to talk about how to prepare for Advent by focusing on a particular virtue, watchfulness. Throughout the season of Advent, in the daily readings, we hear exhortations to stand erect, to be vigilant, and especially to watch. But what are we watching and waiting for? Why are we being exhorted to stand erect and to be vigilant? Because, as the gospel of the second Sunday of Advent states, prepare the way of the Lord, make straight his paths, every valley shall be filled, and every mountain and hill shall be made low. The winding roads shall be made straight, and the rough ways made smooth. And all flesh shall see the salvation of God. In the season of Advent, the church tells us that we are waiting for two things. First, we are waiting for the coming of Christ on Christmas Day. As Christians, we are invited to spiritually empty and prepare our hearts to meet the incarnate Word of God, Jesus Christ. Preparing for Advent means that we are preparing to see the salvation of God, as St. Luke states in his Gospel. Second, Christ came once when he became incarnate, which we celebrate on Christmas Day, but after his crucifixion, death, resurrection, and ascension, he promised that he would come again. So during the season of Advent, we are preparing for Christ twofold. We are preparing for him by doing penance, repenting, reconverting, turning back to Jesus Christ, renewing our hearts in the call of discipleship. But we are also waiting for him to come again, which could happen any day. I think that this exhortation to watch by the Lord is actually probably one of the most difficult commands the Lord gives to us in our current cultural climate. And that is just simply because of technology. Now, technology is neither good nor evil. It is entirely neutral. But what we do with it, how we use it, our control or mastery over it, or lack thereof, can lead either to virtue or to vice. I think it's fair to say that if you looked around anywhere, you would not find anyone watching for the Lord. They may be watching a sports game, or a Netflix show, or just scrolling on social media, but in general, even we Christians have lost the urgency and attentiveness required for the Lord to find us waiting and ready for when he comes again. If you think about it, it's actually more rare to find someone in a public setting who is watching, who is fully attentive to the present moment, and fully attentive to the person or circumstances right in front of them. To be watchful actually falls under the cardinal virtue of temperance, which is the moral virtue that moderates the attraction of pleasures and provides balance in the use of created goods. In the New Testament, temperance is referred to as moderation or sobriety. To be ready to meet God, we have to be of sober mind. Often sobriety is referred according to food or drink, but I think that we should acquire this virtue of being sober when it comes to using our technology. And this is a great way to prepare for and to live during the season of Advent. We must be temperate in our technology use, just as much as we should be temperate in consuming food and drink. Just as eating too much food can make us sleepy, and drinking too much alcohol can lead to drunkenness, too much time on the screen can lead us to being dull-minded, distracted, unable to keep our attention. We lose focus and we can actually become intoxicated by screen time. Further, too much time on the screen can make us lose awareness of ourselves. We stop being autonomous beings who act and instead become passive machines who are no longer using our senses to encounter the world around us, which actually can lead us into real communion with God and others. I want to point out that the virtue of temperance doesn't mean elimination, it means self-control. We must have self-control as human beings if we want to possess ourselves fully and thus give ourselves away as gifts. We must be found watching. Advent reminds us that we must be ready for the Lord at any moment. The early Christians actually believed the Lord was going to return almost right away. St. Paul wrote about this in his letter to the Thessalonians. He encouraged them to have hope in the resurrection of the dead because many Christians were concerned about the souls of their loved ones who had died before Christ returned. And what does St. Paul do? He exhorts them to be vigilant, to not be idle because the Lord will come like a thief in the night. The dilemma for us is that it's been 2,000 years since the Paschal Mystery, since Pentecost. Do we have the same urgency as the early Christians to be found watching when the Lord returns? How can we be ready for him when he comes if he finds us addicted to our phones and our entertainment? Further, our attachment to screens leaves us not only distracted, but also scattered, confused, anxious, and unable to converse with the Lord, who can only be found in silence and stillness. So, to conclude this episode, I want to invite you to ponder the following questions from this really great book called A Mind at Peace. If you struggle with screen addiction, highly recommend. It's a super awesome book. So, 3 questions for you guys. The first is, do I have a habit of compulsive looking at social media, at your email, at screens in general? Second question, is my daily looking at screens making me anxious, giving me headaches, or causing me to have difficulty sleeping? And then the third question, do I have a positive habit of looking at beautiful and intelligible things not on screens that help to make me calm, encourages reflection, and enables me to learn about the things I see? My encouragement to you this Advent, if you struggle with that screen time, is to make similar, kind of like Lenten resolutions, but Advent resolutions that involve cutting down that screen time and being attentive to the people around you, the beauty around you, and God who dwells within you. You've been watching Tell Me About It, Tara, presented by The Holy Happy Hour. My name is Tara. Thanks for watching. Catch you all later.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed listening to Tell Me About It, Tara, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, the alert bell will give you notifications every time a video is posted by the Holy Happy Hour. You guys have a great week and God bless.